Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the Torah tribes, Yasha, giving the chorus all honor and glory and praise unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. That's all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of the God, Son, YAHAWASHI. This is your brother Yasha Allah coming back with another video. Alright, giving y'all edification and food, spiritual food, through the spirit of power of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, of course. Alright, so I like to get into basically rebuking the damn drunkards. All right, you can't be a damn drunkard, right? And what is a drunkard? Somebody that is basically seeks wine, right? That is addicted to wine and to alcoholic beverages, right? That drinks all the time. That's drunk all the time. That only drinks to get drunk, right? Because there's certain, wine was not made for men to be drunk, right? But I'm going to get a few precepts. All right, I'm going to get a few precepts and really just doing this off the spirit, right? This is Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 29, right? It says, who have woe? Meaning, who has destruction, right? Who has that, right? Who have sorrow? Who have, you know what sorrow is, right? Basically, depression, anxiety, right? Feeling down, feeling sad, right? Who has that? Who have contentions, right? Who fights, right? It says, who have babbling, just talking, right? You're just talking, or you're just saying anything, anything that comes to your mind, you just say it, right? Because let's go to the book of Proverbs again, right? In verse 11, it says, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in to afterwards. Because you're going to find out that if you're a drunkard, you're also a fool, man. Right? You need to repent from that. All right? Being a drunkard. All right? Because a fool, he utters all his mind. That's being a babbler, It says, but a wise man keepeth it in to afterwards, right? But it says, back to Proverbs 23 and 29, it says, who have woe, right? Who has destruction? Who have sorrow, right? Who have contentions, who have babbling, who have wounds without cause, right? You just, you wake up, after a damn party or whatnot. You wake up after a damn party, or you got drunk, and you wake up, you don't know what happened, and you got bruises all over yourself, right? You're like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened to me, right? That's the bruises or the wounds without cause. Who have redness of eyes? Hey, who has redness of eyes? You already know who has redness of eyes. The damn jakes, that's damn wine bibbers and, drunkards, right? They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine, right? So they that tarry long at the wine, meaning that what? You just sipping wine and it's taking out along and you drinking so much of it, right? So it says, who have woe? I'm going to touch on that real quick, right? Because you have destruction when you're a drunkard. Because the Lord, he's going to kill the drunkards, all right? We only drink wine in moderation, all right? It's a sin to get drunk, all right? And also with that, I'm just touching on the physical part, because there's a spiritual part also, being spiritually drunk, right? That's also in the scriptures too. But right now I'm just talking about being physically drunk, right? This is Proverbs, right? Salakia. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5. All right, Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 11. It says, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning. Right, you rise up early in the morning. It might be 7 a.m., 6 a.m., right? It says that they may follow strong drink. So they wake up, then the moment they wake up, they don't say all praises. They don't pray, right? They don't say the YAHAWAH, right? Hey, maybe even before they grab their phone, they grab the damn whiskey bottle, right? They grab the damn wine bottle. They grab a beer, that they may follow strong drink that continue until night. So they drink it all throughout the day, even until night, right? Till wine inflame them, right? Till wine just consumes them, man, right? Till it pursues them, till it consumes them, right? Till they had so-called enough, It says, in the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe, and wine are in their feasts, right? But they regard not the work of the Lord, neither they consider the separation or the operation of his hands. Now we know this is talking about ancient Israel, right? The Israelites that was in with Isaiah at this time, but we can also apply this to modern day Israelites too, right? Because a lot of Israelites that's not in the truth, they're in the house of feasting, man, right? The Lord said to be in the house of mourning, right? But they're in the house of feasting. They don't regard the works of the Lord, right? They don't consider the operation of his hands. They don't consider the Lord, right? They don't consider their nationality. Let's get that. This is Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. So the Most High said that Israel doesn't consider the Most High, neither do they consider where their home is, their nationality, all of that, right? They don't know it and they don't consider, all right? So the Lord said that, woe, right? The Lord said, woe. Isaiah 5 and 11, woe unto them, right? So the Lord said, woe to the drunkards, man. Because that's what a addicted person that's drunk, or a person that's addicted to drinking, that's what they do. They wake up, and immediately after they wake up, they drink, They drink even before they drink water. They might drink more beer and alcoholic beverages than water, right? So that's being drunk. A drunkard, all right? So let's go back to Proverbs, all right? And let's get this in Iraq real quick. All right? Let me go to this Iraq about the wine. All right? Iraq chapter... Get this about the wine, man. Because you're not supposed to be a drunkard, and there's a purpose for wine. All right, there's a purpose for wine. Khan, right? The YAHAWAH. It says, Sirach chapter 31 and verse 25. Show not thy valiantness in wine, meaning that what? That's what men do. That's what some men do, right? That they'll go to bars and they'll show their strength by how many shots they can take, or they can show their strength by how many bottles of beer they can take or whatever, right? The Lord said don't do that, and that's off, right? That's what the Lord said, man. It said, show not thy valiantness in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. So wine has destroyed many, right? That's obvious. Wine has destroyed many, right? Because it makes you think perverse things. Verse 26, the furnace proveth the edge by dipping, so doth wine the hearts of the proud by drunkenness, right? It says, wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. See, when you're drunk, you're not drinking moderately, and every person has their own tolerance. But it says that you have to drink it moderately, all right? What life is then to a man that is without wine? Because wine is good, right? Just like anything, like anything else in righteousness. Strong drink is good, right? Eating meats is good. Eating drinking whatever, right? That's good. It's fine. There's no law that says that you can't do those things, right? Under proper circumstances, but you can't do it in excess, right? Too much of anything is bad, right? If you read 24/7, right, like you actually reading the whole scripture, you're trying to read the whole Bible one day, hey, you're gonna go off, you're gonna bug out, all right? Likewise, if you do, that's being over righteous, right? Because let's go to Ecclesiastes, right? If you try to read the whole scriptures, right, in 1 hour, you say you're going to read it in 1 hour, hey, that's you're trying to be over righteous, right? But this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 16. It says, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Right? Because it's going to destroy you too, If you try to do too much of that, right, in a short span of time, we know we have to be on fire, but you can't, overindulge, right? Verse 17, be not over much wicked. So on the contrary, don't be over much wicked. Slack it. It says, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? So there's a balance in this thing, right? Because the Lord, he deals with balances. Okay? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11. So we know that the Most High, he deals with balances. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord. So the Lord, he hates a false balance, right? He likes everything to be even, all right? But a just weight is his delight. So the Lord, he loves a just weight. All right, let's go to that in the law. Leviticus chapter 19. It's the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 36. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. So the Lord, he loves a just balance. All right. So let's go also to Sirach. There was this one in Sirach real quick. I want to get. So yeah, right. There's one against another. There's that one in Sirach. Everything against Sirach chapter. Okay, I can get this. Sirach chapter 33 and verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. See, these are balances, right? You have life, you have death. You have evil, you have good. Everything's in its proper balance. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High. Oh, Khan, I found it. All praises. And there, so look upon all the works of the Most High. Everything has a balance, right? Everything has a balance, if you think about it, right? Everything has a balance. Like, literally. We have everything contrary one to another in the earth. You have man and woman, you have positive and negative. All of these just balances. And there are two and two, one against another. You see that? One against another. So the Lord, he deals with balances in moderation, right? So that's why the Lord said that in Sirach chapter 31 and verse 27, wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. Moderately. That's a balance, right? What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make man glad. It was made to make man glad, men and women glad, but not for them to succumb to evil spirits that you get when you're drunk. Why do they call alcohol spirits, right? That's because when you drink too much of it, you get spirits on you, Verse 28, wine measurably drunk, measurably, right? Wine measurably drunk and in season, meaning you're not drinking it all the time, right? You're not drinking it every second. You're not drinking it every hour. You're drinking it in its proper season, because there's a time and a place for everything. Let's get that. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So to everything there's a season. So there's a time and a place for drinking wine. For example, the feast days. Maybe when the Sabbath's weighing off, or maybe after the Sabbath, right? Hey, there's a proper time and a place for everything. At a feast, at a wedding, bring out the wine. It says to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right, basically saying the same thing. So let's go back to Sirach chapter 31 and verse 28. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. You see that? So wine, when you drink it in moderation, and like I said, everybody's toleration is different. One brother may be able to drink 2 bottles of beer and that's it. But another brother, he may be able to drink 4 and still be okay. Right? Now, am I promoting that? Nah, you have to know your limits, But this is Sirach chapter 31 and verse 29, right? But wine drunken with excess. If you drink with excess, you're getting drunk. maketh bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling. So when you drink it in excess, that makes a bitterness in the mind. Now you're thinking negatively. Instead of you thinking positively, you're thinking negatively, and all of these evil spirits are on you because you're drunk, right? It says brawling, which is what? Fighting. That's what that is, right? So let's get that in Ephesians real quick. It's the book of let's lock. I want to get Colossians, right? I want to get Colossians. Let me get this real quick. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 8, right? But now you have put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. So you have to put that away. You know, the malice, the anger, the wrath. And that's what wine brings. To some people, it may bring sadness, right? That's why it says who have sorrow. To some people, it may bring quarreling, brawling, which is what? Being angry, you know, getting feisty. Now you want to fight, right? That's Jake's all the time. It says wrath, malice, blasphemy. You know, now you're speaking perversely, right? You're speaking perverse words, you know. Filthy communication out of your mouth. So we have to put that off, you know. The Lord said, abstain from all appearance of evil. Right? I believe in the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Either 15 or 7, right? But all right. And let me get this in 1 Thessalonians. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 6. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Right? Let us watch and be sober. What does that mean? Be sober. Physically be sober. Right? Don't be drunk. And spiritually, what that's going into is you abstaining from the philosophies and doctrines of Esau, right? In these other nations. All right. This is Sirach chapter 31 and verse 30. So the Lord He's giving you the whole breakdown here. All right. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds. You see that? So drunkenness, it increases your rage. The Lord says to put off wrath, man. Right? You can be angry, but let not the sun go down on your wrath. That's what it says in the book of Ephesians. Let me get that real quick. Right? And the Lord said to be slow to wrath. Right? I'm going to get that first. Well, let me just get Ephesians first. Right? It's the book of Ephesians. Chapter 4 and verse 26. It says, be ye angry and sin not. So you can be angry, right? But you can't be full of wrath. You can't be full of that anger, right? It says, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. If you're angry with your brother, you're angry with your sister, right? Before that, the end of that day, hey, you have to find it in yourself to forgive him, right? And put off that anger, you know? And that can be hard sometimes. We got to pray unto the Lord. All right. This is James chapter 1 and verse 19. There's nothing good about anger towards one another, right? We can be angry at the damn heathen. We have every right to be angry at the heathen, but we don't have a right to be angry at our brethren and our sisters. You see that? There's no profit in that, you know? This is James chapter 1 and verse 19. It says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. So now, mind you, this is brother YAHAWASHI himself. So when it says, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, hey, that's basically a commandment, right? Not a law, you know, but it's a command, right, from the Apostle James, that he wants every Israelite to walk and to be swift to hear, right? Slow to speak, you know, not being a babbler, not being, you know, the first one to speak all the time. And slow to wrath. See that? Slow to wrath. So if a man was slow to wrath and he, you know, was drinking wine, hey, he would be able to control himself because he's slow to wrath. He would be able to control his emotions. You see that? Sirach chapter. Let me get this. Sirach chapter. What was this at? 32. Let me just get this then. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. So if you're slow to wrath, you're of great understanding, man. But he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. All right, if you can be hasty, all right, in this thing. But this is Ecclesiastes also. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry. So the Lord said, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. So it's not expedient to be hasty to be angry. All right, it's not expedient. All right, because that can just lead to what? Fighting. We know that that's off too. All right, in the occasion. All right, but we want to abstain from all periods of evil. This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 17. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. You see that? So that's self-explanatory. All right, so this is the book of Sirach. All right, let me go back to this. Sirach chapter 31 and verse 30. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. Right? It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds. So it makes wounds, man. Right? When people are fighting, hey, they might get a bruised eye. You know, they might get knocked out, whatever. Verse 31. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth. Meaning you can't just be like, if the brother is chilling, he only has one glass, right? The glass is like this much. He can take much more. You know, and he's just married, you know, it's at the feast day or whatever. And you getting on him because he's drinking wine, you know? Hey, don't despise his mirth, right? Don't despise him at his mirth, right? Let the brother drink. It's all right, you know? It's all right sometimes, you know? Of course, the whole topic of this video is to not overdrink, you know? But, hey, there's a time and a place like of everything like we just read, right? It says, despise him not in his mirth. Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink. So don't be like, hey, brother, come on, drink. You know, and the brother's like, you know, I'm going to hold off, you know. You're like, come on, drink. And you keep pressing him. Hey, the Lord said don't do that. That's what they do in the world too. They press each other to drink, you know. And even after they're damn drunk, they still drink, you know. So, hey, even people my age, man. People my age, they get drunk, man. All right, so I'm getting on them too. All right, the Lord gets on them too. All right. So that was basically, you know, wine. All right, a breakdown on not being a drunkard. All right, and there's many other precepts about not being a drunkard. All right. Where was this at? So like these nations, they're drunk off the wine of Babylon. And the wine of Babylon is going into the philosophies and doctrines of Babylon. All right. That's a whole topic. All right. But this is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So all nations have drunk of the wine of Babylon. Right. Have drunk of the philosophies of Babylon. That's what that's going into. You know, people in damn Saudi Arabia celebrating Christmas and whatnot. Hey, that's drinking the wine of Babylon. You know? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You see that? So they have drunk of the wine of Babylon. This is the book of Jeremiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51. That's a lot for you. Yeah, Jeremiah 51 and 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. What does that mean? Like, actually, not, it doesn't actually mean to leave, right? To actually leave, you know, you buying your ticket, you're packing up, you're getting the suitcases, and you got a taxi to the airport, and you're leaving for sure. It's not literally saying to leave Babylon, right? Although you can, but we know that according to the prophecy, right? Let's go to the book of Micah. Multiple prophecies, but this is one of them. Micah chapter 4, right? Where is this? Micah 4:10, right? It says, "Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon." This is that Babylon's talking about this country, America, or the Americas. "There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies." See that? So the Lord said you're going to be delivered from Babylon. So why is the Lord saying deliver every man his soul? Meaning that what? Come out of her mentally, you know? Stop celebrating the traditions. Stop being an American, right? In the mind. That's what that's going into. And deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Therefore the nations are mad, man. Right? Therefore the nations are mad. So meaning that what? They're crazy. And they're also angry, because they're sobering up. They're saying, damn, look America. Look at America. America has been the ultimate whore on the earth, and has made all nations to drink of her wine, man. Right? So she's going to get a just reward for that. And that reward is nothing nice. Alright, I'm going to tell you that. Okay? But this is, I was thinking of a precept. Revelation chapter 17. It's the book of Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. "And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." See that? They have been made drunk of the wine of her fornication, man. Alright? So they're drunk with the philosophies and doctrines of the other nations. That's what that's saying. Because you can't literally make every nation drunk. Like, what does that mean? Right? That's symbolic language. Okay? Let's go to the book of Song of Solomon, because wisdom and doctrine is likened onto wine in the scriptures. It's the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 1. "Oh, that thou wert as my brother, that sucked the breast of my mother. When I should find thee without, I will kiss thee. Yet I shall not be despised." So that's basically going into you wanting your brother, your Israelite brother, coming into the truth, right? You know, sucking the breast of your mother that's not literal. It's not literal, right? It's talking about basically you sucking the breast of your mother, and your mother is wisdom, right? When you read that in the book of Sirach, right? Chapter 15. It says, "Now I shall find thee without, find you outside the truth. I will kiss thee, yet I shall not be despised." Meaning that what? Basically, you bring them in the truth, right? You tell them the knowledge. You tell them the wisdom, right? That's spiritual. It's a spiritual kiss. Verse 2, "I will lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house." Right? "I will lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house." Your mother's house, I read about that in Proverbs 9 chapter. "Who would instruct me?" Right? She would instruct you. Right? Tell you what not to do, tell you what to do. Those are the laws, statutes, and commandments. "I will cause thee to drink of spice wine, of the juice of my pomegranate." So that's going into the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding. All right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Well, but this is the book of Sirach, chapter 15, verse 1. "He that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her. and as a mother shall she meet him and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. All right? Meaning that way, if you are brought into this truth, you're keeping the law, statutes, commandments, your mother or wisdom is like your mother, and wisdom is also like your wife too. Verse 3, with the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink. So literally, liquid, like water and wine, they're referred to as wisdom in the scriptures. Okay? I'm gonna end this video with Proverbs. All right, Lord, I'm gonna end this video with Proverbs. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, and verse 29 again. Who have woe, who have sorrow, who have contentions, who have babbling, who have wounds without cause, who have redness of eyes. Because YAHAWASHI, he had redness of eyes too, right? Because when you go to the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 12, it says, his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. So YAHAWASHI's eyes will be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk, right? And that doesn't mean that he was a drunkard. He just drank, he drank wine, of course, and he wouldn't be drunk either, right? In the book of Luke, YAHAWASHI was like, I come drinking wine, and y'all call me you call me a wine bibber, But he was drinking a lot because he was under a lot of stress. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. See that? He still had those eyes of a flame of fire. And Jake, you'll get those red eyes too when he drinks, right? But Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 30. They that tarry long at the wine, and they that go to seek mixed wine. So you want to seek you don't want to seek mixed wine. You mixing this doctrine, that doctrine, right? On the spiritual level, on the physical level, you're just mixing the wine. Damn bartender and stuff. Verse 31, look not thou upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself aright. And you're getting enticed by this damn philosophy and doctrine, right? On a spiritual level, you're getting enticed by it, Verse 32, at the last it biteth like a serpent, and stingeth like an adder. Because it causes you to sin too. When you're drunk, you're in sin. Because you're indulging yourself in all these damn demons, The Lord said, flee from sin as if from the face of a serpent in Sirach chapter 21. Verse 33, thine eyes shall behold strange women, and thine heart shall utter perverse things. Meaning your mind, man. You're thinking perverse thoughts now. It's plaguing your mind. We already read that in the book of Sirach. And thine eyes shall behold strange women. You're looking at damn doctrines, right? And secretly enticed. And when you're drunk also, you're looking at women who's not attractive. But when you become drunk, now you think they're attractive. You see that? Those are damn spirits on you. Lust, right? Etc. Verse 34. Yea, thou shalt not be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, or as he that lieth upon the top of the mast. They have stricken me, shalt thou say, and I was not sick. They have beaten me, and I felt it not. When shall I wake? I will seek it again. So after Jake, Jake might get beat up, Jake might have getting, damn, in a fight, got knocked out. He wakes up, he doesn't remember what happened, and he's like, hey, where's my wine at? Where's my beer at? Where's my strong drink at? So, hey, that's off, and that's wicked, all right? So no being a drunk, all right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 6. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Right? Let him drink. I'm going to start at verse 4. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink. And you're a king on the earth. You're a prince on the earth if you're an Israelite man watching this. If you're an Israelite woman, you're a princess on the earth. Right? But it says that it's not for kings to drink wine. Right? Why? Verse 5. Lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Lest they drink and forget the law. See that? Because drinking basically clogs up your mind, man. right? It, you know, clogs up your mind. So it says, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Because the king, he was on another level, all right? Couldn't just, hey, old Israelite couldn't just be a king, man. It took a lot to be a king. You had to know the law, all right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are round about me, that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So we're supposed to have a king that's over us, that's from one of us, that's an Israelite. So no Joe Biden, no damn Trump, all right? None of them devils, all right? And I'm going to start at verse 18. And it shall be when he setteth up the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him up a copy of this law. So if you're the king, you have to write a copy of the law. Every single commandment, man, in the book, out of that which is before the priests of the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them, right? That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, or to the end, that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. See that? So the king had to know the law, right? They were required to know the law, all right? So that's why it's not, the Lord saying it's not for kings to drink, man, you know? Although they can, right? But it's not really expedient for them, because they know about the effects of drinking. Verse 6, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. So you give strong drink to him that is ready to perish, that's ready to go out. You know, he's on his deathbed, you might as well drink, man. And wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. If you have a heavy heart, man, hey, we know that wine can make men glad, you know. Let him drink and forgive his poverty, and remember his misery no more. You see that? So with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, this was edifying. All right. No being a drunkard. All right. Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom.